pain is a teacher, not an enemy. This truth may sound simple, but it holds one of the deepest lessons in life. When someone hurts you, whether through betrayal, rejection, or indifference, the first instinct is to see pain as something unfair, something to escape. We feel wronged and victimized, believing that pain only exists to break us. But in reality, pain often arrives to awaken us. It is not there to destroy who we are. It is there to reveal who we could become if we allow ourselves to learn from it. When we are hurt, our emotions rise like a storm. Anger, sadness, confusion. These feelings cloud our clarity and make us react impulsively. But if we step back and look deeper, we realize that every painful experience mirrors something within us that needs healing. Pain shows us our weaknesses, our attachments, and our expectations. It exposes the parts of us that still rely too heavily on external validation or approval. Instead of fighting the pain, if we sit with it, we begin to see that it is trying to guide us towards strength and self-awareness. Shi Yeng Yi often teaches that true mastery is not about avoiding challenges, but about transforming them into wisdom. When you see pain as a teacher, you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" That shift in perspective changes everything. The same experience that could have made you bitter can now make you wiser. Pain teaches patience, resilience, and the importance of emotional balance. It teaches you that your peace cannot depend on the actions of others. It teaches you to stand on your own foundation, firm and unshaken, no matter who tries to shake it. Think of pain as fire. It burns, but it also purifies. It melts away the illusions you once held about yourself and others. When a man hurts you, the fire of pain feels unbearable. But it also clears away what no longer serves you. It removes dependence, ego, and the need to control outcomes. What remains is your authentic self, stronger and more grounded than before. That is the lesson pain brings, if you are willing to face it with awareness instead of resentment. Many people run from pain or try to numb it through distraction or denial. But when you run from pain, you also run from growth. The courage to face discomfort is what builds real inner strength. Every time you confront pain with understanding instead of anger, you evolve. You stop being a victim of your emotions and start becoming the master of your inner world. So, when you are hurt, remember, pain is not your enemy. It is your silent teacher, showing you what still needs to be healed and what needs to be released. It is guiding you toward becoming the version of yourself that no longer breaks under pressure, but bends, learns, and rises. The man who hurt you may have thought he weakened you, but in truth, he only awakened the strength that was sleeping within you. Master your emotions before they master you. This principle lies at the heart of true inner power. Every human being experiences emotions: anger, sadness, love, jealousy, fear. But what separates the strong from the weak is how they handle these emotions. When you let emotions control your thoughts and actions, you become a puppet of your reactions. But when you learn to master them, you become the author of your own peace. Mastery of emotion does not mean suppression. It means understanding, guiding, and transforming what you feel into something constructive. When someone hurts you, your emotions instantly rise. You may feel the urge to shout, to cry, to seek revenge, or to prove your worth. But those reactions only deepen your pain and give control to the person who hurt you. The moment you react emotionally, you hand over your power. True mastery is in restraint, in the ability to observe what you feel without letting it dictate your actions. It's the art of pausing before responding. That pause is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is the space where transformation happens. Shi Yeng Yi often speaks about awareness being the key to freedom. When you are aware of what you feel, you can choose your response consciously. If anger arises, observe it. If sadness appears, breathe through it. By watching your emotions rather than becoming them, you gain the power to direct their energy. Emotions are energy in motion. When you understand this, you can channel them toward growth rather than destruction. Instead of lashing out in pain, you can turn that energy into creativity, discipline, or self-improvement. Mastering your emotions is also about detachment. Detachment doesn't mean not caring. It means caring from a place of balance. When you stop expecting others to behave a certain way to keep you happy, you stop being emotionally enslaved by their actions. You begin to realize that peace is not something others can give or take away. It's something you cultivate within yourself. Emotional mastery means your mind stays calm even when the world around you is in chaos. You remain centered, grounded, and untouchable. This control does not come overnight. It takes self-reflection, mindfulness, and patience. You may fall many times, lose your temper, or feel consumed by sadness. But every time you bring your awareness back to your breath, you are practicing mastery. Slowly, you begin to notice that external triggers lose their power. The same words that once broke you now pass through you like wind. The same situations that once caused you pain now become your training ground for strength. In mastering your emotions, you free yourself from emotional slavery. You no longer chase validation, fear rejection, or crumble under criticism. You become like still water, clear, deep, and reflective. The world may throw stones, but your surface soon becomes calm again. When you master your emotions, no one can manipulate you, because your peace no longer depends on anyone else. And that is when you truly begin to live with power, dignity, and freedom. Detachment is the highest form of power. It may sound cold or distant, but true detachment is not about indifference. It is about liberation. It means learning to care deeply without clinging, to give your best without needing control, and to love without losing yourself. When you are detached, you no longer depend on external circumstances or people to define your happiness. You remain steady even when others change, leave, or disappoint you. Detachment gives you the ability to stay calm in chaos and peaceful in pain. It is the state of being fully present yet completely free. When someone hurts you, emotional attachment intensifies your suffering. You replay their words, their actions, and the betrayal in your mind again and again. You seek answers, closure, or revenge. But all of this binds you more tightly to the pain. Detachment breaks that chain. It doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you stop allowing your feelings to control your peace. You acknowledge the pain, you learn from it, and then you release it. That release is not weakness, it's wisdom. It is the realization that holding on does not heal you, letting go does. Shi Yeng Yi often teaches that the mind becomes heavy because we hold on to too many things. Past wounds, future fears, expectations, and regrets. Detachment lightens that load. It allows you to move through life with grace. You start to understand that you cannot control what others say or do, but you can always control how you respond. The man who hurt you, the person who left, or the situation that broke your heart, they were all experiences meant to teach you something. Once the lesson is learned, there is no reason to keep carrying the pain. Detachment helps you accept the lesson without clinging to the suffering. True detachment also means understanding impermanence. Everything in life changes. People, emotions, circumstances. When you accept this truth, you stop fighting against what naturally evolves. You begin to appreciate things for what they are, not for how long they last. You can love someone deeply yet still let them go when the time comes, because your happiness is no longer rooted in possession, but in presence. You love without fear, because your peace is not at stake. Detachment strengthens your inner power, because it frees your mind from dependency. you become emotionally independent. You are no longer swayed by approval or rejection, praise or criticism. Whether people understand you or not, your calm remains untouched. That kind of freedom is unshakable. It makes you unpredictable to those who try to control or hurt you, because they can no longer access your emotions as a weapon. When you practice detachment, life becomes lighter. You begin to move from reaction to reflection, from chaos to clarity. You start choosing peace over drama, growth over revenge, and freedom over fear. Detachment does not make you less human. It makes you wiser, stronger, and more peaceful. It is not the absence of emotion, it is the mastery of it. And that mastery is where true power lies. Respond with silence, not reaction. This simple yet profound principle carries immense strength. In a world where everyone rushes to prove a point, to defend or to retaliate, silence becomes a language of power. When someone hurts you, insults you, or disrespects you, your first impulse is often to respond, to show them they were wrong, to protect your pride, or to make them feel the same pain you felt. But reacting emotionally only fuels the conflict and drains your peace. Silence, on the other hand, disarms the situation completely. It confuses those who expect chaos and empowers you with composure. Silence is not weakness, it is control. When you remain silent, you are not surrendering. You are simply choosing not to waste your energy on what does not deserve it. You are showing mastery over your emotions, not indifference. Shi Yeng Yi often emphasizes that silence is the space where wisdom speaks. When the mind is still, it sees clearly. Through silence, you give yourself the time to observe the situation from a higher perspective instead of reacting from pain or ego. In that pause, you create the possibility for understanding, healing, and power. People who hurt you often expect a reaction. They feed on your emotional energy, your anger, your tears, and your words. The more you react, the more power you give them. But when you respond with silence, you starve their control over you. You take away the emotional reward they seek. Nothing confuses or weakens a manipulative or hurtful person more than calm silence. It shows them that they no longer have influence over your emotions. It forces them to face their own behavior without the distraction of your reaction. Silence also protects your dignity. Words spoken in anger often lead to regret. Once said, they cannot be taken back. Silence, however, carries no regret. It allows you to keep your integrity intact. You rise above the noise and chaos that others try to drag you into. Instead of lowering yourself to their level, you maintain inner balance. In that balance, your energy stays pure and focused on growth rather than destruction. Practicing silence doesn't mean ignoring problems or avoiding communication. It means responding intentionally, not impulsively. It is the pause before the right action. Sometimes silence is temporary, a tool for reflection, until you are ready to speak with wisdom. Sometimes it is permanent, a choice to walk away from what no longer serves your peace. In both cases, silence becomes your shield and your sword. When you learn to respond with silence, you begin to value your peace over proving a point. You no longer chase explanations or validation. You understand that not every situation deserves your voice. The quiet strength that comes from restraint speaks louder than any words ever could. In silence, you show that you are not ruled by anger or ego, but guided by awareness. And that is where your true power lies, not in how loud you can speak, but in how calm you can stay when others try to shake you. Transform pain into personal growth. This is the essence of inner evolution. The ability to take what was meant to break you and use it to build yourself stronger. Every human being experiences pain, but not everyone learns from it. Some people let pain harden them. Others let it shape them into wiser, calmer, and more powerful individuals. The difference lies in perception. When you see pain only as punishment, it imprisons you. But when you see it as a tool for growth, it becomes your greatest teacher. When someone hurts you, you have two choices: to dwell in suffering or to rise through it. Pain is not meant to destroy you, it is meant to awaken you. It shows you what needs to change, your boundaries, your beliefs, or the way you value yourself. Each painful experience is a mirror reflecting areas of your life that need healing and strength. Shi Yeng Yi often teaches that life will keep sending you the same lessons in different forms until you learn them. Pain, therefore, is not a curse, it is a compass guiding you towards self-awareness. Transforming pain begins with acceptance. You cannot grow from what you refuse to face. Instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" The moment you shift from resistance to reflection, healing begins. Pain teaches patience, empathy, and resilience. It teaches you how to stand on your own, how to protect your energy, and how to appreciate peace. When you allow pain to shape your wisdom, it no longer controls you. It empowers you. Growth from pain also comes through forgiveness. Not necessarily for others, but for yourself. Forgive yourself for trusting too easily, for staying too long, or for not knowing better. Self-forgiveness turns guilt into gratitude, because you begin to see that every mistake and every heartbreak helped you become more aware and grounded. Pain humbles you, it strips away illusion and pride. It forces you to look within, where true strength lies. Another step in transformation is to turn pain into purpose. When you channel your suffering into creativity, discipline, or service, pain becomes fuel. Some of the greatest art, wisdom, and change in the world have been born from pain transformed into meaning. Instead of letting pain close your heart, let it open you to deeper understanding. Let it teach you compassion for others who suffer, and let it drive you to live with authenticity and purpose. Over time, you begin to realize that the pain, which once felt unbearable, was the very force that awakened your strength. You learn that healing is not about forgetting, but about evolving. You stop identifying with the wound and start identifying with the warrior it created. Pain, when embraced with awareness, becomes power. It refines you, purifies your mind, and reminds you that every ending is simply the beginning of a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Transforming pain into growth is not easy, but it is the path to freedom, wisdom, and lasting peace. Rise so high that confusion becomes your calm. This principle is about transcending the chaos, the pain, and the negativity that once controlled you. It's about elevating yourself to a level where the noise of the world no longer shakes your peace. When someone tries to hurt or confuse you, they expect a reaction. They want to see you fall, lose balance, or seek their approval. But when you rise above the situation, when you meet confusion with calmness, you become untouchable. Your stillness becomes your strength. Your silence becomes their confusion. To rise above is not arrogance, it is awareness. It means you no longer play the same emotional games others try to pull you into. You understand that people can only affect you to the degree that you allow them. Shi Yeng Yi teaches that when your inner world is balanced, the outer world cannot disturb you. Calmness is not the absence of storms. It is the ability to stay steady while they pass. When you train your mind to remain centered amid confusion, you take back full control of your energy. You stop being a victim of situations and start being the master of your response. Confusion is a powerful weapon used by those who want to control or weaken you. They will mix truth with lies, affection with manipulation, and silence with punishment. But when you remain calm, their confusion no longer touches you. You begin to see through their actions clearly, as though looking through fog that no longer blinds you. Calmness gives you clarity. It allows you to understand without reacting, to see without judging, and to move without fear. The one who remains calm always holds the highest ground. Rising higher also means rising above the need for validation. You no longer chase explanations or closure from those who hurt you. You accept that not every question needs an answer, and not every person deserves your energy. When you stop chasing clarity from others, you find clarity within yourself. You begin to understand that peace does not come from external certainty. It comes from internal stability. This is the point where confusion becomes irrelevant because your calmness replaces it with confidence. To reach this level, you must train your mind daily. Through mindfulness, self-reflection, and discipline, you strengthen your awareness. You learn to observe your emotions instead of being controlled by them. When you rise high enough in consciousness, you see that everything that once confused you was simply a lesson in disguise. A test of how deeply you trust your own strength. The more life tries to shake you, the steadier you become. Eventually, you reach a state where calmness becomes your default. No matter who hurts you, betrays you, or misunderstands you, your peace remains untouched. You no longer seek revenge or reaction, you seek elevation. And in that elevation, your calmness itself becomes confusing to those who once tried to control you. That is when you have truly taken back your power, when their chaos no longer reaches you because you have risen above it.